Hello and welcome to Rising with RLP. I am your host, Tammy, the owner and founder of RLP Holistic Wellness, a meditation master teacher, accredited trainer, self love and self discovery speaker, as well as shamanic energy healer. And what you're about to hear is the first season of our podcast. I've never done anything like this before, but I think it's time that we try it out. Season 1 is going to be my favorite topic. And also, it's near and dear to me because it's the name of my first online summit that I did. We Are the Divine Femme. And you're about to hear some stories from 11 amazing women that are ready to share, ready to be open, and ready to be vulnerable. Not only will this help them in their growth journey, but this also may help you in your growth journey or help you to get through a situation. So get ready, sit back, relax, maybe grab the popcorn, some wine, tea or coffee, and sit with an open mind. Have a beautiful night. Happy healing. Hello and welcome to Rising with RLP. I am your host, Tammy, and I'm excited to say we're posting another episode, Breaking Free. And in this episode, you guys are going to meet a very amazing woman that is special to my heart because she is one of the originals that did We Are the Divine Femme Online Summit. Meet Courtnie, owner and founder of Tuckedin Tarot, known for her amazing readings, her comprehensive way of explaining tarot. Also, she has a mentorship program that helps people in their spiritual journey. She has built an online community focused on spiritual education, practice, and unity, and welcomes everyone with open arms. So I ask you to sit back, relax, get that wine, that popcorn, that coffee, and hear Courtnie's story of breaking free. Was also one of the women that joined the We Are the Divine Femme online summit. Courtnie, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too. I am so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, I am too. I'm super excited to have you because you have been doing so many fabulous things. So really quickly, let's talk about some of the fabulous things that you've been doing. I've been seeing you on Meet and all these different things.
Yeah. So I have been all over my Meetup platform, which actually is a free community for those who are out there. And it is right now solely online. And it does focus on tarot, but I've brought in astrologers, hermeticists. I've even brought in our favorite Tammy as our meditation guru onto the
Oh, stop
platform.
it.
You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
No, no, keep going, keep going.
I will sing your praises always, but that's why I wanted you to be a part of the community. But it's just been so amazing and expansive, and it's growing in the way that I have have wanted it to. I wanted it to be a method of being able to connect with others and to give that freedom and that space to practice and play and socialize, especially if you're maybe feeling a little bit disconnected and you're just wanting a safe community. So there's that. I've also started up a mentorship as well that is focused on spirituality and kind of my own personal foundations when it comes to spell casting. I do not provide you with spells. I don't recommend any kind of like herbs or spices or tools because I do think that is incredibly personal, but it's just the foundation of getting back to yourself. How are you feeling? What do you need? And just one, learning to trust yourself, to like yourself, to listen to yourself. And the feedback that I've gotten so far from it has been phenomenal. And then I also teach tarot as well. That's really my bread and butter. That's what I really love to do. So I have all of those things going on, and more things to come. But I'm a busy lady, very busy.
You are a super busy lady, and I
Yeah.
just really want to sing some praises real quick. Your tarot class is freaking amazing. You
Oh,
know, I really did enjoy what I got to see and what I got to be a part of. Unfortunately, Tammy was passed out at the very beginning, but So, Courtney, tell me about breaking free in your life, because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about breaking free. And I know your story, but some of our listeners don't know your story about the breaking free and what you went through and what you had to overcome to get to this point. Do you mind talking about it?
absolutely. And there is so much that I can talk about. And I did take some time to kind of mull it over because, when you get on these podcasts, you want to be concise and to the point. But with my story, and especially with breaking free, and this will go for anyone, there are going to be layers to it. There's going to be so much that's going to happen. And sometimes you just can't pinpoint it. But in a nutshell, the moment that I feel like was pivotal for me was the decision to not be bitter. I didn't want my life to feel bitter, to taste bitter. I just didn't want to have that. And there was a night where I got into a very heated argument with someone that I love dearly. They are one of my favorite people, but there was just this point where I just told them, I don't appreciate how you speak to me, how you treat me, especially whenever I am going through personal struggles, emotional struggles. It's like there was that expectation of always being prim and proper and put together, and you don't show your emotions. But on the flip side of that, I was always having to coddle and nurture and carry the emotional weight for this other person so that way they would be okay. And this person looked at me dead in the face and just goes, "Well, I'm like that because I'm bitter." And I just sat there and looked at them. And it was just that moment of pause. And I just took a breath, and it was just acceptance. And I know that that is such a grating word for a lot of us, especially when we are going through those changes and those trials, and they're just like, you just have to accept it. It's fucking hard. And but there is that moment where you either have a conversation or you have something that just hits you, and you're just like, I don't want to fight this anymore. Or I finally got the reason of why this person is either acting this way or why this situation is happening. And it's not my responsibility to hold on to it. So I just remember looking at them. I just go, okay, well, that lets me know that I'm going to have to do something differently about our dynamic, but I also need to do something differently about myself. And so I go home and I went no contact. I actually am still in no contact with this person. And I was working, and I had one of those monotonous customer service call center jobs, which is I've been in customer service since I was 16, which is way too long. But I just felt stuck because that was the one thing that I knew that I could do. And it was the one thing that I was good at. And I just was like, I don't want to be doing this forever, but I don't know what else that I can do because I don't have a college degree. I don't have as much experience to get into like the corporate world or what people would deem as successful or worthy of like a higher position. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do something for myself. And there was a moment a few weeks after that going, okay, I've made the decision to do something different. What do I want to do? And I'm like, I really want to read tarot. I want to teach tarot. That's what brings me joy because that was what helped me with getting some of the answers during one of those. We talk about breaking free, but breakdowns and breakups. Okay, you need those to have those moments of breaking free. And so I'm like, you know what? This is something that feels passionate for me. So let me lean into it. And so I started practicing more and I started getting clients and I was really feeling myself. And then one day I'm getting ready for work and I just heard let go. Again, it was another one of those moments of acceptance and again breaking free. And about a week later I lost my job and I was stressed. But it allowed me to have time to build more onto that meetup platform, to build some of my mentorship classes, to go out and find more clients and starting to network. And part of breaking free, what I found was absolute trust. Now you're going to question it a bit, but that was one of the hardest lessons that I had to go through. And whenever I chose to lean in and trust myself and also my spirit team, my guides, I am also a devotee of Hecate, leaning into her, trusting her to guide me through this, that's when I started to feel those moments of freedom. I started to get what I call those golden nuggets that, hey, I'm on the right path. It's hard, but every time I said yes to myself, I was then breaking free and growing and moving. And it was stressful, but I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I made my way through.
Oh my goodness, Courtney. I freaking, your story gets me every time. It does, especially in the portion where you're like, it's like, really? Really? I lose my job and all of those things piling up because how we talk about like that life is life and life is going to life you no matter what. So you
Mhm.
can go with the flow or we can have a freak out, which I would have had a major freak out.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It was not all cool, calm, and collected. That's not how these things work. That is not how
Never.
these things work. And honestly, that is something that I really advocate for. Um, because and I feel like whenever we get on these spiritual journeys, and if you are on the spiritual journey, or if you're trying to make change, or if you are trying to break free, you have to embrace that it is never ever going to be smooth sailing all the way through. And sometimes being positive thinking and being like, okay, everything is working in my favor, sometimes that is not enough. It is not enough. And you have to lean into those feelings of I am uncomfortable, I am angry, I am grieving. I don't understand what's going on. Sit with those feelings because that is a part of breaking free, not running from those harder emotions. And you don't always have to be put together. You don't always have to have the answers. That is a part of the freedom.
And yes, that right there. You know what I mean? When I talk to people about stuff I talk about, well, you and I talk about it.
Hmm.
You and I talk about it where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to feel what I need to feel. If I need to
Yeah.
feel it today, if I need to feel it again tomorrow and
Hmm.
feel whatever I want to feel, whatever I need to feel to emotionally release whatever's going on,
Hmm.
I give myself grace for it, man. Hey, it's okay. This is where you are right now. You
Yes.
don't have to be there. You don't have to be there in a week. You don't have to be there for a month. You don't have to be there for a year. But if you are there, it's okay.
That part. That part. And and I think also too, and you actually just gave me an epiphany as well, that being able to be vulnerable and open and raw and ugly cry and yell and scream and throw a temper tantrum like you are like a 2-year-old, sometimes you need to exert some of that energy. And part of my realization of breaking free was that I was surrounded by people that did not hold space for me to do that. Every time I got angry or I really expressed frustration or pain, it was always this message of you're either being manipulative, or you're out of line, or you need to be more controlled, or you really hurt my feelings when you spoke the truth. And I'm like, you're not holding space for me, but you expect me to do the same for you and your bad behavior, but I don't get the same courtesy. And this person that I'm no longer in contact with, that I mentioned at the very beginning of the call, that was something that I did mention to them. Just like, you say really hurtful things, and the look on your face is of sheer pleasure and joy. I don't get pleasure from hurting people. I mean, unless, it's consensual, but um, but I don't want to tear people down, and especially those that I care about. Now, the people that I care about, are they going to get on my nerves? Yes. Are there going to be behaviors that are going to be corrected? Yes. Are there going to be things that I'm going to say that maybe I could have refined a little bit? Yes. I'm not going to be perfect, but I want to be able to have that open dynamic. And part of me going through the job loss, learning how to trust myself, having all this emotional turmoil, I did find comfort in front of my altar and with my team and with Hecate, where they actually just allowed me to scream and yell and cry and or dance or just laugh uncontrollably and have all this gratitude. They allowed me to express my emotions. And that also was a moment of just freedom, because a lot of us, when we move into that spiritual journey, we have that feeling of, okay, well, I need to be humble. I need to be meek. I need to be, respectful, of course, but I can't show my spirit team or God or whatever it is that you believe in. I'm angry. I'm frustrated at my circumstances. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. It's like we always have to continually internalize it. And I realized, I'm like, if I can't be vulnerable with them, I can't be vulnerable with myself. And I need to lean into that. I need to be able to have those moments where I can just purge and release. And that has really helped. And it is so powerful. And I really do encourage any of my students or anyone that I just come across and have conversations. I know you and I, we talk about those emotions. I encourage that. Now, you don't want to go off and do anything that's going to be harmful or hurt yourself or others. But if you need to go into the closet and scream, if you want to go to one of those rage rooms and go and break dishes, go and do it. If you want to go throw paint on canvases and be, the wacky woo woo person in your neighborhood and your backyard, go and do it. Figure out where that energy is coming from and release it, because the more that you're able to connect with yourself and have the consistency, the more powerful that you're going to be overall, but you'll be able to define what that is for you. The more success you're going to have, but you'll have the freedom to define what that is for you.
I love that. You know, I've always wanted to do the whole thing where they have they have the large canvases and
Hmm.
then people have like water balloons filled with paint
Yeah.
and they just throw it at I've always wanted to do that because I love paint.
Yeah.
I'm not that great at painting, but I love the whole, I love paint.
Yes.
But, now one thing that I love about you, not only your story, but I love the name of your spiritual wellness business.
Oh,
And can you tell us a little bit about Tuckedin Tarot?
yes, I can. And I can't believe I didn't mention the name of my group and my business. But yeah, so Tucked in Tarot. So the reason why I came up with that name was whenever I really decided to lean into tarot was about 2 years ago. Now, I was introduced to tarot when I was about 10, and I got the the good old stalker card, freaked me out, and then I kind of dabbled back and forth, but I really wasn't that invested. But I went through what I mentioned earlier with those breakdowns and breakups. I went through a really hard breakup, And you know how people like to go and you're like, I just want answers. I want to know, what do I need to focus on? What is happening? Why am I feeling this way? How are they feeling? We've all seen it on social media. Yes, I was one of those people. However, as much as I was grieving, I still wanted answers for myself. Like, what do I need right now? What do I need to give myself? So I actually found a tarot reader on TikTok. Her name is Clarity. Y'all, she's amazing. She's amazing. I highly recommend her. Um, and so she was giving me these reads, but in every single one of those reads, it was just like, you haven't lost anything. You are growing. There's this change. There's this teaching opportunity. There's so much that's happening for you, but you have to make the decision. You have to make the decision. I'm just like, you know what? You're damn right. I need to make a decision. And as much as I love you, I do not have the money to consistently pay you because I want to have answers for myself. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and really dive into tarot. And I created my own study program. I found Blake with Sapphire Hearts, who is also on Meetup as well, and absolutely amazing. And I found groups to practice. And I did that for about 9 months. And I got so much from it that I was like, you know what? I want to give back to this community that has supported me. So I created my platform. And when I was trying to come up with a name, I was like, okay, what does tarot actually mean to me? I was like, okay, well, tarot for me helped me to one, relax. It was comforting, it was nurturing, it held me when I was by myself. And I'm just like, it made me feel like I was being tucked in every time I went to reach for my deck. So I'm just like, yeah, tucked in tarot. And I was just like, you know what, that's cute. And then I was like, if I create this platform, I want this kind of cozy feeling. So I'm like, yeah, that's the name, tucked in tarot. So that's how I came up with my business name.
You know, that to me is awesome because that is the vibe that you give. So let me tell you, folks, if you ever get a reading from Courtnie, you are not only going to feel tucked in, but you are going to feel like someone slapped the taste out of your mouth. I will say I had a few readings from Courtnie that did make me feel like the taste was slapped out of my mouth. But I will tell you, I am so grateful for the amazing readings that I had. And, she told me lots of stuff about books and everything like that, which we'll talk about that offline. But Courtnie, I want to tell you, I love you. I
Oh, I love you
feel that
too.
you are one of the strongest, loving, caring, and kindest women I have met. And I love coming on Meetup with you. It's so much fun. So one thing that I do want the audience to hear is, hey, because they're probably thinking, how the hell do I get a hold of Courtnie? I want to know. So Courtnie, tell us, how the hell do we get a hold of you?
So there are several ways that you can get a hold of me. If you want to go directly to my website, that is tuckedintarot.com, and you can actually just go through the contact form. I'm also active on Meetup. You can message me there or join my group. And it again is Tucked in Tarot on Meetup.com. Those are going to be the two best ways to get a hold of me.
Ooh, yes, yes. So you guys heard it first. And again, Courtnie, thank you so much for doing We Are the Divine Femme for a second time. See, we're going to have to go for a third time. You know that I love threes. Got to go for that third time. We'll be doing it again because this time it'll be you and Laura and the three of us hanging out.
Oh, I love
And
Laura.
you guys, I just want to tell you, if you have made it to this far in Rising with RLP season 1, We Are the Divine Femme. Be ready for the next episode 4. You guys are going to get to meet the maker of Tammy.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so plugging into that one.
I didn't even listen. So I just, again, have a beautiful, beautiful day, night, and happy healing.